Welcome to our weekly Community Self-Practice Sunday check-in session, the half hour of Dharma, reflection, and community connections. If you are a new member of our community, please accept our wholehearted welcome and know that if you are unsure or have any questions about our practices and topics, we're all here to help. And if you are a regular, well, welcome back. It is customary for people in Australia to begin any meetings by acknowledging the traditional owners of our land. So in the spirit of reconciliation, I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we work, study, and reside, the Wadi people of the Dharma Nation, and pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. I also pay my respects to the traditional custodians of the various land on which you all are. The check-in session has been developed by our Community Self-Practice team and the entire community. The session aimed to develop a reflective practice in response to changes. Guided by humanistic Buddhism, we'd like to cultivate our practices and build memorable friendships. So after hitting the 100th session last week, we will embark on another new adventure with the rest of the year devoted to turning point stories, where some of our community friends will generously and bravely share the precious moment of their journeys. Today, Priscilla will bring her story, Tales from a Meditation Cushion, to kick off this series. During the adventure, we invite you to listen deeply and appreciate the twists and turns that human life offers, using this amazing opportunity to practice turning off our inner chatter and being completely present. So let's welcome Priscilla.
Thank you, Xiaomong. And thank you, Meg and Jonathan, for guiding such a rich and hopeful September. And thank you, dear community, for allowing me to kick off this 3 months of Turning Point Stories. Shall we start with a meditation? Let's close our eyes together. Sit comfortably, nice and upright, and take a few deep breaths together. Now let's just focus our attention on the tip of the nose and just watch the miracle of your breath moving in and out. Can you feel it? Let's just do this for a little while together. When you are ready, please open your eyes. For my turning point story today, I'm going to speak about a very recent time in my life, last month actually, when I attended a retreat at the Hawkesbury. Venerable Joe gave me some final words of wisdom before this self-imposed 10 days of silence. No expectations, don't look for answers, and enjoy the inner journey. It was wonderful advice, and so I really did go, not knowing what I would discover. Next slide. Now, as you know, meditation is an essential part of many philosophies and practices. People who find out I'm Buddhist all think that I must be an amazing meditator. You know, be able to sit for long periods with calm, insight, focus, and peace. Now, just a heads up that today is not one of those stories. Next slide. Now, it really is apt that the first noble truth is that of suffering. And in reality, for me, meditation often is hours of struggle, boredom, and internal monologue, which goes something like this. Ow, I really need to move my leg. Priscilla, you just have to sit still for this hour. Come on, you can do it. I really do, because it's going to fall off. Priscilla, firstly, you're a doctor. You know it's not going to fall off. Secondly, even if you weren't a doctor, you know it's not going to fall off. No, it's going to fall off. And as I move my leg, my whole body breathes in pure bliss. And my mind says admonishingly, oh, well, this is a waste of time. When will this hour end? Now, on previous retreats, I used to brush these off as wasted sessions. And I'd wait for the next hour where I could be calm and perfectly Buddhist again. But it turns out there is so much to learn from equanimous examination. These few minutes didn't mean a failure of the whole session. The wonderful gift of impermanence means that after a stumble, you really can start any journey again afresh. I also realized that each point of my internal conversation had to be looked at curiously. Yes, there was pain, but what was the real challenge? Not the sensation itself. The problem was getting caught up in a story, turning everything into a disaster. It's actually pretty funny how far from reality the mind can go, and really believe that Priscilla's leg was going to be left on a cushion in the middle of the Hawkesbury. I'd laugh. Often I'd still move too, but it became more and more okay. Next slide. Now, with all the loss of limb going on, luckily the second lesson of self-compassion was happening at the same time. Heeding Venerable's advice, I went on an inner journey and started listening for my own voice. With so much internal chatter, it can be hard to hear our own voices. But finally, amidst the silence, I heard mine and wondered if it was for the first time. Laughing gently at my inner conversations, but always kind, validating, and absolutely unconditional. Later on, when I let the beauty of the external world back in, I still felt that internal strength and acceptance, and knew that my very own bungee cord would always be there. And I wish the same for every being in the world. Now, the two lessons of suffering and self-compassion are really pretty simple truths we all know. We talk about them a lot here. But for me, the meditation cushion was another way of experiencing them in this safe and personal way. And the reason I think I could was another simple truth, a middle way, a balance. In the last few years, I've been searching without really stopping, perhaps my own Samvega. I'd read, I'd listened to podcasts, I worked harder and harder, I'd studied at NTI, bathed myself in the wisdom of this community and conversations. And I absolutely treasure all these experiences. They gave me so much and allowed this particular inward journey to develop as it did when the time came. Theory and practice, outward and inward, doing and being. We need both. And to end, I can say with certainty that it is worth taking the time to check that the scales balance. I'll hand back to Xiaomeng.
Okay, thank you, Priscilla, for sharing with us your retreat experience and your realization of the simple truth. And thank you, everyone, for your listening. Now we are invited to contemplate and discuss the following questions. Do you have any of your own experiences from the meditation cushion to share? Have there been any practice or activities which have allowed you to realize simple truths, or any other reflections on Priscilla's story? Now we will be placed in groups of 3 to 4 to share and discuss. In the discussion, we recommend you spend some time getting to know each other and then discussing our questions. So there will be Zoom notifications to guide you, but feel free to let the flow of your discussions guide you. Our sessions are guided by metta, which is unconditional love and kindness for all sentient beings. Let's use these breakout sessions to express and receive loving kindness to and from one another, and take time to pause, share, and listen. We'll also ask you to share some of your findings with the larger group at the end of the breakout discussion. So now let's go to our breakout rooms for rich and nourishing discussions. See you all back in 15 minutes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. I hope you had some good discussions in your breakout rooms about meditation experiences, perhaps other experiences that teach you simple truths. And if you'd like to type in the chat box, our wonderful poster team, of course, will compile these and share these with the rest of the community. So our community spoke a lot about gardening inside and out, and how this can be quite a meditative practice, and it helps us let go of our thought streams as we tend to nature. We had a couple of people in our group. We had Tom and May, who've been on a few long retreats as well, and talked about those experiences and how retreats can be like a reset because they reinvigorate and re-enthuse us, which is what Bruce has said. Meditation can provide a time of re-energizing. Also a practice our group talked about in paying attention. And Andy's spoken about how meditation is a very intelligent mind exercise, like various gym equipment aims at specific body muscles. Yeah, exactly. So often we remember to exercise our bodies, but forget about the mind. Liam talks about checking in as giving us a break to calm ourselves and take care of our body and mind. And Michael was very reassured to hear that others often find meditation difficult. It's not an easy thing, and we should all be comforted. We don't have to be perfect. Yes, Michael, I was very relieved to hear that others found it difficult too after telling you all my little story. After the meditation retreat, I was able to walk through the shopping centre only looking at the floor. And Tom was just talking about the focus. Stacey talks about caution about selecting the right retreat, and I think that's a great question as well. And I think it's something we should talk about more in the plenary, and definitely something I asked for advice on as well. Li Ping talks about writing down recurring thoughts as a way to acknowledge them. So that's a great idea, because I think those recurring thoughts, mine was of losing my leg, that came quite a lot, and a way of acknowledging that. Peter, don't be afraid of the spontaneous thoughts and enjoy the flowers that spring to our minds from the wild. And I'll finish with stop trying from Liam. So everyone stop trying. All right, I'll hand back to Xiaomeng, but thank you for your comments, dear community.
Okay, thank you, Priscilla and everyone. We really hope the check-in session was helpful to you, and we hope you all experience the unconditional love and compassion of this community. But for anyone who might be experiencing a greater need than what today could meet, please don't hesitate to get in touch with us. And also, you can also reach out to the professional organizations on the screen. So today we talk about practicing self-compassion and the middle way in daily life. Next Sunday, our old friend Bruce will share his profound story, a 40-year journey from me to we, with us. In shared experience, we learn together. By supporting each other, we all grow and experience even greater joy. As we check out today, let's keep in our hearts and minds the recent Thailand childcare tragedy. May we dedicate our prayers to those children and their families and all in the world who are suffering.
Let us now dedicate the goodness of what you have done to all living beings. May kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity pervade all worlds. May we cherish and build affinities to benefit all beings. May Chan, Pure Land and precepts inspire equality and patience. May our gratitude and humility give rise to great vows.
So thank you, Priscilla, for generous sharing. And thank you, Lai Ching, for being our IT today. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. Now we will end recording and have our Euro plenary session. So please stay around if you have time. Otherwise, see you all again next Sunday at 11 a.m.